Minecraft 1.20 is releasing tomorrow, so let's quickly just recap everything that is new. Let's start with the main features. The first thing is hanging signs. These hanging signs are a new addition. This is the crafting recipe for them. They come in every single wood type of the strip version, and when you actually craft them, they give 6 in return. So as you can see right here, every single version gives you 6 hanging signs in return for 6 stripped versions of the wood type and 2 chains. Hanging signs have 3 different sort of hanging stages. The first one is a bar or pole that the chains hang on. The next one is a cross shape where the actual chain hangs on, and this one with the cross shape can be hung at different angles like you can with mob heads and also normal signs. And then the final one is 2 chains hanging down with no bar. Also, the addition with hanging signs comes changes to actual signs. All signs now have the ability to have double-sided text, so you can put text on both sides, as you can see. And you can now edit a sign until you right-click honeycomb on it. So if, as you can see, we have edited that side. If we now want to rub this out and change what this says, we can do that. And if we click it with honeycomb, that has now made it so it can no longer be edited. Each side can also be dyed a different color, obviously if you haven't honeycombed it. So if we quickly just do text on different sides, as you can see, we can have this side as blue and this side as magenta. There is no current way to unwax a sign. The only way to currently unwax it is to break it and replace it. And this double-sided signs and editing signs also works with the new hanging signs. As you can see, you can have text on both sides, and the text can be different on both sides as well. The next set of features inside of 1.20 is the new mob, the Sniffer. This is an ancient mob. The way you find it is by brushing suspicious sand inside of the warm ocean ruins, and that has a chance to give you a sniffer egg. When placing the sniffer egg down, if you place it on any block that is not moss, it takes up to 20 minutes to hatch. If you place it on moss blocks, it takes up to 10 minutes to hatch. And as you can see right here, the Sniffer has custom animations, and the Sniffer will also randomly dig 2 different plant types. First one is the pitch pod, and the second one is torchflower seeds. When the Sniffer has actually sniffed out its location, it has a 50/50 chance to dig out either one. Now, once you have yourself some pitcher pods or torchflower seeds, these can be planted onto farmland. Now, when you actually plant them down, they will randomly grow, or you can bone mill them to increase the speed. And as you can see, this is what they both look like when they're planted down fully grown, but you can break them and you'll get 1 of each. It does not work with fortune, so you cannot fortune them to get more. And then, as you can see, you now have the 2 new flower types. This one, the torch flower, can be put into a flower pot, whereas the pitcher plant cannot. And they can be planted on any block that other flowers can go on, so any grass or dirt type of block. The torch flower can be put into the crafting grid for orange dye, and the pitcher plant can be put into the crafting grid for 2 cyan dye. That is the only use they have, apart from decoration. The next feature is the Chiseled Bookshelf. This is a new type of bookshelf. The Chiseled Bookshelf is crafted like so. The actual planks and slabs can be any wood type. It don't have to be oak. So it's 6 planks with 3 slabs in the middle, and that gives you 1 chiseled bookshelf. Now, what a chiseled bookshelf actually does is you can store books in it. You can install enchanted books, normal books, and books and quills. And you can also put the books in any slot you want. So as you can see, if I click there, it puts it in that middle slot. If I click in that top corner, it will place it there. If I click in that slot, it will place it in that slot. And you can always move the books around. Now, for redstone players, this can also be useful. You can actually read the last actual slot that was interacted with. If we put a book in this second slot, as you can see, the redstone signal is giving a power of 2. That is because the second slot was last interacted with. If I then put one into the 6th slot, as you can see, it's now giving a power signal of 6. And it basically works like that. So if I then put one in the first slot, it now gives a power of 1, but if I then was to take the 1 from the second slot, it will now give a power of 2. And basically the last slot that you either put a book into or take a book out of, that is exactly the redstone power it will give. The next set of features is the bamboo wood set, and this is a new wood type inside of Minecraft 1.20. As you can see right here, it includes everything that a normal wood set would. So you've got boats. The only thing with the boats though, these are different. These are known as rafts rather than boats. They work exactly the same, they just have a different model to them. Another thing that this set has that other wood sets don't is bamboo mosaic, and this is a block which has more of a mixed texture. It also does have slab and stair versions. As you can see, this is the design for the doors and also the trapdoors. They look unique and different, so that is what they look like. And how you actually get the bamboo wood type is you have to go to a bamboo jungle or some sort of jungle, and you craft it by putting 9 bamboo in the crafting grid, which gives you 1 block of bamboo. Then this block of bamboo can be put back in for 2 bamboo planks. And then obviously bamboo planks can be used to make all of the other items, apart from obviously the hanging signs, which use the stripped version of bamboo. How you get the stripped is you place the actual block down and then you strip it with your axe. The only one that is different is that the bamboo mosaic is crafted with 2 slabs like so, and that gives you 1 mosaic. The next feature inside of 1.20 is mob heads or playable mob sounds and piggling heads. The piggling head is gotten from a charged creeper killing a pigling, but alongside the pigling head you can now actually put mob heads onto no blocks, first of all without actually sneaking now. So if I was to break that, pick that up, and I can now place it on without actually having to sneak. But you can also now play the note block with the mob head on top, and it'll play the ambient sound for that mob, which you can use to prank people, or you can use it for ambience within your base. And it works with all mob heads inside of the game, which is pretty cool. Even the pigling head, which obviously was added. Now, another thing about the actual pigling head is if you actually have redstone power going into it, as you can see, the ears will flap up and down. Another thing about it, if you put it on to your head and you walk around, the pigling ears will also flap. The next set of features is smithing templates. Now, this is a whole new mechanic that will be added. There are a new type of item called the smithing template, and they have a load of different designs. You then also have the netherite upgrade version of the smithing template, and that is because they have actually changed how smithing tables work. Inside of 1.20, smithing tables have had an upgrade. As you can see, the UI has been overhauled, and they now have a slot here with an armor stand visual over there. And that is because the actual way to make netherite has changed. You will now need to find yourself a smithing template of the netherite type, and this can be found inside of bastions. To actually upgrade your netherite armor now, you have to put 1 smithing template in to that slot. You then need to put your diamond armor or tool into that slot, and then 1 netherite ingot into this slot, and as you can see, it will now upgrade it to netherite. It does consume every single item inside of these 3 slots. Obviously, the chest piece is outputted here instead. Now, obviously, to find these, they can only be found within bastions. But if you find yourself one of them, you can actually duplicate them. As you can see, this is the recipe to duplicate them. You need 7 diamonds, a piece of netherrack, and 1 of the smithing netherite upgrades. If you put all of them into the crafting grid exactly like so, you get 2 in return. Now, when you actually use these other types, these give you unique designs onto your armor. And the unique designs can be put on with any of these ingredients. So amethyst, redstone, diamond, iron, copper, emerald, nether quartz, netherite, gold, and lapis. So as you can see, we are now over here with all the different types. We have the sentry one, which is found within pillager outposts, and the duplication block is cobblestone in this case. What I mean by the duplication block is when you actually have them in a crafting grid. So when you have them in a crafting grid, the diamonds are always in the same pattern. This template right here depends on what template you want to duplicate. And then in this middle slot is the duplication block. which is the block that the actual smithing template looks like, basically. So we've got the sentry one right here, which is found in villager outposts, and the duplication block is cobblestone. And as you can see, this is what it looks like on netherite armor, with all of the actual different types. You can see the actual material it's made out of underneath. We then go up to the Vex, which is found in woodland mansions. The duplication block is once again the cobblestone. And this is what it looks like on every single actual type. The Vex one does look really cool. So then the next one, we have got Wild, which is found within jungle temples. And the duplication block is mossy cobblestone. And as you can see, this is what this one looks like on every single type. We then have the Coast, which is found inside of shipwrecks. Duplication block is once again cobblestone. And this is what this one looks like on all of the armor types. If you do want to look at them in more detail, you can always pause the video. We then have Dune, which is found inside of desert temples, and this duplication block is sandstone, and this one has a bit more of a unique pattern to it. As you can see, this is what it looks like on every single armor type. The next one is the Wayfinder, and this is found within the new structure, the Trail Ruins, which we'll showcase later on in the video. The duplication block is terracotta. And this is what this one looks like with every single armor type. The next one is the Riser, which is found in, once again, the Trail Ruins. Same duplication block, that being the terracotta. And this is what it looks like in every single armor type. We then have the Shaper, which once again is the Trail Ruins. This is once again terracotta. And that is what it looks like in every single material type. Finally, for the Trail Ruins, we have the Host, which is the terracotta again. And that is what it looks like on every single material type. Now we have the Ward, which is found within the ancient city, and the duplication block for this one is cobbled deep slate, and this one, as you can see, it looks like that on every single armor type. Another one for the ancient city is Silence, once again being cobbled deep slate as the duplication block. And this is what this one looks like with every single material. This one actually changes armor a lot, as you can tell. We then have the Tide, which is found within ocean monuments. One thing to note about this one is found from killing the Elder Guardians. All the others are found within chests at the structure type. Because there are no chests inside of the ocean monument, you have to kill the actual Elder Guardian. It's not a 100% chance to get the smithing template when you kill the actual Elder Guardian. And the duplication block is Prismarine. And as you can see, this is what that one looks like on netherite armor, using every single material. We then have Snelt, which is found within Piggling Bastions, and the duplication block is Blackstone. And that is what that one looks like on netherite armor, using every material type. We then have Rib, which is found within Nether Fortress, and this one is Netherrack as a duplication block. This is what the Rib one looks like on netherite armor, using every single material type. We have got Eye, which is found within the Strongholds, and this duplication block is Endstone. And this is what this one looks like on netherite armor, using every single material type. And then finally, we have Spire, which is found within the End Cities. Duplication block is Purpur, and this is what that one looks like on netherite armor, using every single material type. So there is, as you can see, all of them right here. The next 1.20 feature comes with the Camel. The Camel is a new mob inside of Minecraft 1.20. You can find one camel per desert village. You can right click a saddle onto the camel, and upon getting on the camel, it can actually have 2 players. Now I can't actually showcase that because there's only one of me, but you can put 2 actual players on the camel. It cannot have entities on it unless you use cheaty commands. Along with the camel becomes a new dashing ability. If you hold your space bar, as you can see, it will slowly build up down here its dash bar. And if you let go of it when you are ready to dash, the camel will kind of jump forward, so you can dash over ravines and also caves with no problem. If you also press your sprint button, you can also sprint with a camel, which makes you a little bit faster. The next feature is calibrated skulk sensors and also skulk frequencies. Calibrated skulk sensors are actually crafted like so. So you need 3 amethyst shards and 1 of the actual skulk sensors. And okay, it's like so. and you get yourself one calibrated skulk sensor. Calibrated skulk sensors can have a comparator going in to the side with the amethyst looking texture. It will then only read vibrations that are the same frequency as the signal going into it. So if we set this book to page 15, now as you can see, if we set this to page 7, it will now only, as you can see, accept vibrations that are frequency of 7. Me walking no longer sets it off. Placing blocks, as you can see, no longer sets it off. The actual frequency that is of 7 is an entity being damaged. So if I quickly just grabbed ourselves a creeper and punched a creeper, as you can see, the actual skulk sensor gets activated because that is the only vibration that allows it. Anything else that I do inside the world will not actually activate this. So this is a way to make it so skulk sensors only activate when certain actions are played. The new addition with skulk sensors is you can now put amethyst blocks on any side, also above and below. And as you can see in the subtitles, the actual subtitle shows amethyst resonates. And basically what that means is amethyst, if there is amethyst adjacent, it will then send the exact same signal that goes into it to another skulk sensor that is a decent distance away. So if I actually break that amethyst, as you can see, I can activate this one, but not that one by jumping on, let's say, this block right here. But if I was to now put that amethyst block right there, and then now jump on this, as you can see, it goes from this one to that one without actually any problem. And it will obviously carry on. So if we then put one right here and put that like so, and then if we go back over here, you can now see it goes all the way down the list. And because I'm jumping and sending the redstone power of 2 to this one, both of them ones will also get the power of 2. The next feature coming inside of Minecraft 1.20 is the ability to re-dye beds, wall, and wall carpet. So if we quickly just go to the crafting table, you can now see I have yellow wool right here. Let's say we want that to be red wool. As you can see, it now takes one carpet and one dye to give you one of the newly dyed carpets. And that is the same for any colour. If you then want cyan to red, if you want pink to red, let's say you want pink to yellow. So you can now re-dye carpets. You can also do this with wool. So let's say you have a load of lime wool, but you want it to be white, or you want it to be yellow. That is now something you can do. And it's also the same with beds. So if you want to have a pink bed and you want it to be yellow, or let's say you want it to be lime. The next feature coming inside of 1.20 is archaeology. As you can see, this is everything that is actually within archaeology. Archaeology comes in the sign of a new sort of dig site. The Desert Temple is the first structure that has had an update. As you can see, the Desert Temple now has a staircase in the corner that is covered by sand. And if you dig out all of the sand, there is a chance that you can find a new block called Suspicious Sand. As you can see, the block right here, it's technically the same as normal sand, but it has a little bit of a different texture. This block cannot be picked up in survival mode. How you actually get the items from it is you have to craft yourself a brush, which is crafted with 1 stick, 1 copper, and also 1 feather. Like so. Brushes have durability. Every time you complete a brush of a block, the actual block will turn from suspicious sand into normal sand, and it will use up 1 durability of your brush. If you actually dig around a little bit more, as you can see, more blocks are uncovered, sometimes revealing a new thing called shards. If you actually stop brushing a block as it's part out, eventually over time it will go back into the sand. Redigging it will give you the exact same item every time. The next dig site comes in as the Cold Ocean Ruins. The Cold Ocean Ruins will generate with the block of suspicious gravel, and as you can see there is 2 right here. Digging these will once again give you an item. If you stop digging it, the item will pop back in over time. The next structure that has archaeology around it is the Warm Ocean Ruins. This will once again generate with suspicious sand around it. So if we just look around a little bit, you'll eventually find that there are some patches or blocks of suspicious sand. Maybe over here. Yep, as you can see there is one right here. This is also where you find the Sniffer egg, and this is the only way you can get it in survival mode. I forgot about one of the dig sites. There is also some suspicious sand that you can find underneath the water at the actual desert wells. So if you clear the water in desert wells, there is a chance that you can find between 1 and 5 suspicious sand here, which once again you can dig for certain items. The next structure that has archaeology is the Trail Ruins. This is a brand new structure that will be coming inside of Minecraft 1.20. And first of all, this structure, you will only find a part of it uncovered by the air. As you can see, in this case, we found a few blocks of gravel and a few blocks of terracotta with some suspicious gravel as well. But this actual trail ruin structure can only spawn in a few certain biomes. Them biomes is the taiga, the snowy taiga, the old growth pine taiga, the old growth spruce taiga, the old growth birch forest, and also the jungle biome. So you have to be within one of them biomes to find yourself the trail ruins. And the Trail Ruins is a structure that is buried underground. So what you have to do is you have to dig around while obviously watching out so you don't actually remove any of the actual suspicious gravel blocks, because you'd want as many as you possibly can. But as you can see, if we slowly dig down into this structure, you'll eventually see that it's basically meant to represent an underground old village type thing. I've now given myself night vision. But as you can see, I've now also removed all the stone from the structure, so you can see what it looks like a little bit better without having all of the natural blocks. So you can see it's like a path with a tower going over with then some huts on either side, and then there is still a path with some decorative parts on either side, with once again some more little huts and stuff like that. It is mainly made up of cobblestone, mud bricks, and terracotta. There is also some glazed terracotta, but most of the structure is filled with coarse dirt, gravel, and then also some suspicious gravel. Now, there are a load of different ways this structure can generate. Obviously, just like villages and most structures in Minecraft. Now we have actually got ourselves some pottery shirts from the 4 dig sites. You can then use these for a decorated pot. Decorated pots can be crafted in one of 2 ways. The first way is just using your shelf brick. And when you place this down, it will have no decorations on it at all. Or you can use between 1 and 4 pottery sherds. As you can see, if you use 1 sherd and the rest brick, it will give you 1 side of brick. And as you can see, you can then slowly add more and more pottery sherds to it, depending on what you want the actual pot to look like. If you add 4 pottery sherds, you can then see that it has each of them on one of the faces. If you punch them with your fist, you will get the pot itself back. But if you punch it with a tool, this includes pickaxes, shovels, axes, and also, I believe, swords, it will then smash into all of the sherds, and if you use bricks, it will then smash into all the bricks back. So this is a way to basically re-get your sherds back, or also to re-get your bricks back. Also, inside of 1.20, there is a new music disc, and also some new music. The new music will be linked in the description, so if you do want to check out every song that is new, then you can. But the only one that you'll actually be able to automatically play yourself is Relic. The others will play when you enter certain biomes. Before we jump to the music disc Relic, which is found in the Trail Ruins, these are the new actual music songs. You've got a Familiar Room, which is composed by Aaron. They are all actually composed by the same person. This plays in all biomes at creative mode and the main menu. You've got Bromelade, which plays in bamboo jungles, cherry groves, flower forests, jungles, sparse jungles, and the main menu. You've then got Crescent Dunes, which plays in Badlands, deserts, and the main menu. And then you've got Echo in the Wind, which plays in the Badlands, Cherry Groves, Flowers Forest, Lush Caves, and the main menu. And then the 5th one is Relic, which can only be played when you actually play the music disc. And then before we cover the final feature inside of 1.20, let's quickly just cover some of the new advancements. First of all, you've got Crafting a New Look, which is gotten from crafting a trimmed armor at a smithing table. You've then got Smithing with Style, which is apply the templates of Spire, Snout, Rib, Ward, Silence, Vex, Tide, and Wayfinder. You've got Respecting the Remnants, which is brushing a suspicious block to obtain a Pottery Shirt. You've also got Careful Reservation, which is made by crafting a decorated pot out of 4 Pottery Shirts. You've then also got Read the Power of the Signal from a Chiseled Bookshelf using a comparator, which is the power of the books. And then you have Obtain a Sniffer Egg, which is Smells Interesting. You also have Planting the Past, which is for planting any sniffer seed, and that one is gotten by feeding a snifflet. And the final feature inside of Minecraft 1.20 comes along with a new biome called the Cherry Grove. The Cherry Grove biome will generate most commonly near meadows or where meadows used to generate. This biome is made up of a few new things. First of all, made up of cherry trees, which is a new actual tree type, and a new log. Cherry log can be turned into cherry planks, which can then be turned into everything that a normal wood type has. If we quickly just type in cherry, as you can see, you've got logs, you've got wood, you have the strip versions, you have planks, stairs, slabs, fences, fence gates, doors, trapdoors, and then you have all of the other things: signs, hanging signs, cherry boat with chest, a normal boat, and also the sapling. Now, a few unique things is, as you can see, this is what the door and trapdoor look like. So if you want to use them, this is what they look like. The leaves will actually display falling particles, as you can see. These will play even if you place them down yourself. So if I quickly just place down a few right here, as you can see, these ones will also display the particle. So you can take these leaves back to your base for just a particle if you want to. You can get the sapling from the leaves by breaking them, and the sapling can once again be grown in to the cherry tree. And the final thing is, as you can see, the floor, there is pink petals. You can actually bone meal the floor if you have taken all the pink petals from this biome. You can bone meal the floor to get more pink petals, as you can see. But another thing about the pink petals, they can be stacked from 1 to 4. So you can put 1, you can put 2, you can put 3, and you can put 4. And it also depends on the rotation that you place them. So as you can see, if I rotate, the actual starting one will always be next to my feet on the right. But you can also bone meal these to get more of them. So they are not a resource that you're going to run low on. And if you actually just have one and you bone meal it, before it starts popping out more, as you can see, it will slowly bone meal from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, and then it will start dropping out more once it's actually fully stacked up in that pile. So that is everything inside of Minecraft 1.20. It is quite a good looking update. The actual full update drops tomorrow for both Minecraft Bedrock and Minecraft Java. So if you want to jump into it, then tomorrow is the official release date. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.